Stress. Let's talk about stress. We all talk about stress all the time. We can't not talk about stress. Work sucks. Stress. Got in a fight with my girlfriend. Stress. Lots of stress. I walked home at night. Cold. Stress. Beat myself up in the gym. Good stress. Still stress. Wi-Fi. Chemicals. Too many chemicals. Stress, stress, stress. Stress we have with ourselves, because we don't just argue with the girlfriend. You argue with yourself. That psycho-emotional stress we have where we beat ourselves up. Everything's stress. We deal in stress. Stress is a stimulus, and how we respond to that stress dictates how we live our lives. You know what's funny? When you say stress, I hear blood sugar, because the number one thing that tosses our blood sugar is stress and how we handle it. And that's crucial, because blood sugar is the keystone to everything in our body. When we digest our food, we break it down to a little level of sugar where we move it to the cell to create energy. That's blood sugar management. Our ability to build our muscles, blood sugar management. Our ability to keep a waistline trim, blood sugar management. Also stress, 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 stress. Energy, muscle building, fat loss, stress, stress, stress. It's important that we balance those. The question is, how are we going to do that when we're inundated with all this? That's a great question. And I'm excited to give you the ideas of how we can manage this better. Because as it turns out, we can manage our stress. And it's not just because we're going to manage the inputs and outputs. It's because we're going to support our body's ability to deal with it once it gets in there. Okay? So step one, take yourself for a walk. That's it. We built this into your training program with LISS, or low intensity steady state. And why would we do that? Because we're trying to manage and balance the time you spend at the gym adding stress, beating you up. It's yin and yang, balance. As it turns out, when you go for low intensity steady state walks, especially in the evening, it helps us metabolize cortisol, a stress hormone that breaks us down. It's also caloric expenditure, so that's good for the waistline too. But it helps manually lower those stress hormones. When we start thinking about managing blood sugar levels, we also start thinking about carbs. As it turns out, adding carbs later in the evening might help us sleep. That'll help us manage stress. So we don't necessarily just want to pull the carbs out of our diet. In fact, what we want to do is manage the carb levels that's right for your body type. I think we did a video on that, in eating for your body type. Go check that out. But it's important that we just don't overreach and start pulling carbs out of our diet, because that can add stress. You want to find the right amount. Go for a walk, balance your carbohydrates, and then if we want to use some additional things to supplement that process, well, we got you covered. We've actually built a product called Nightcap that not only helps us with our magnesium levels to help us relax, it also helps us boost our ability to relax and deal with the stress. Because when we stress out and we ping that cortisol level, what we notice is glutamate starts elevating. And glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter that elevates even higher when we lack our B vitamin. So we put B6 in there and we put GABA in there to help relax and calm you down. We also put a couple of herbs in there we use in Chinese medicine that help us metabolize that nasty stress hormone cortisol. Now, cortisol is not all bad, because cortisol is also something that we use to help get our gains in the gym. Don't forget, we break ourselves down in the gym so that we can build back up. Now, it's important that we manage those inputs and outputs. Stress isn't all bad. Stress can be good. It's only when stress gets overwhelmingly bad and we're not doing enough to support it on the other side that it becomes destructive. Take yourself for a walk. Disengage. Supplement. Breathe. 5-5-5 breathing. Now, I want you to do this with me. It's fun. We're in a video. You can handle this. I'm going to show you real time how we do our 5-5-5 breathing to help us manage stress. Are you ready? What we're going to do is put our tongue on the roof of our mouth right behind our teeth. We're going to take a 5-second inhalation through our nose. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds. And then we're going to breathe out for 5 seconds through pursed lips. Are you ready? Here we go. That's one. Do that for 8 times consecutively. Why does that help? because what it does is an oxygen exchange. We want more oxygen going in and more carbon dioxide going out. That's what we see when we lower stress levels with meditation. It's not because we're shaking a dead chicken over our head or reaching some sort of ethereal plane. It's because we have better oxygen exchange. And when we have more oxygen, we're calm. We're calm. Walk in the evening, 5-5-5 breathing. You know another thing that helps us with stress outside of the meditation? Laughing. As it turns out, the vagus nerve that runs through our neck here, when we laugh and stimulate our throat chakras and even when we sing, it helps stimulate the vagus nerve. That can not only help us modulate stress, but that can actually help us with our energy production. It's a handy dandy little trick. So I want you to focus on a couple of solutions to help you manage this stress. Don't just pull your carbs out of your diet. Eat the right amount of carb for your body type and for your training. That's important. It's also important that you don't skip on your list, your low intensity steady state. Go for a walk, relax, breathe. If you like meditation, go for it. If you like stretching, do that too. Make sure we're breathing while we do it. Try your 5-5-5 breathing that we just did. 8 times will get us 2 minutes. That's enough to really move the needle on that oxygen level. Extra little tip, try to laugh once in a while, right? Watch a comedy. I know that sounds hokey dokey, but it can be very effective. And if we do these things in addition to our exercise and which is the good stress to balance these things out, you're going to be able to manage that stress and those blood sugar levels.